Welcome, everyone, to the Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year show, where we get to sit down with our MSOYs and talk about the amazing work that they are doing in their communities and the differences that they are making. Joining us today, we have Cindi. Cindi, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
And can you just take a moment and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Cindi. I live in Syracuse, New York. I am a 30-year military spouse and a military mom of 2 airmen who are in the Air Force. One is stationed in Alaska right now. The other is stationed in Las Vegas. So I am a brand new grandmother as well to a 4-month-old baby boy named Preston. So I'm super excited about that part of our life. And I'm also the assistant director of our county veteran service agency. So that's a little bit about who I am.
No, that is all awesome. And congratulations on being a new grandma.
I know.
That is so exciting.
So exciting. So exciting. I wish they were closer, but it's all good.
Is that the one in Alaska or Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Awesome. I feel like one of your children is probably living it up a little bit more than the other child.
Yeah. The one in Alaska is our 19-year-old, and he's living the life right now. So he's having a great time. So, but super excited about the baby.
No, that is really exciting. So can you tell us what is your MSOY title?
I am the 2022 Armed Forces Insurance National Guard Spouse of the Year.
Congratulations on that. Can you tell us, what were you nominated for?
So I was nominated for my platform and passion for advocating and taking care of military families from the beginning, from when they enter into MEPS through retirement, and everything in between, and also highlighting who and what the National Guard is.
Yeah, that is really cool. I know a lot of times when we think of our military, we often think of just our active duty folks, and sometimes we forget about our National Guard families. And I believe I saw a statistic recently that it's 40, and I may be quoting this wrong, I think it's 48% of our entire fighting force is made up by National Guard service members.
That is true. I'm not sure about the actual percentage, but I know that we are the second largest component underneath the Army. So the National Guard really is that mindset, really trying to change that mindset of the National Guard is not just the 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Our National Guard is the second biggest force, and we are the continuity for all of our service members. So so they're there. They're always ready, always there, and they also have that dual mission, which is unlike any other service.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so it's always important that we remember that they are a part of our fighting force and that they aren't just this other branch off somewhere doing whatever it is that they want to do. So as we know, sometimes passions and advocacy paths change. What is it that you are working on now?
So my advocacy still really remains on providing resources and assistance and making sure all of our military connected families through the beginning to the end, that they feel heard and included. However, I've shifted a little bit more to really focus on the better understanding of and who and what the National Guard is and what they look like today and the impact that they have, not just locally, but nationally, and then the international component that we have too. So just creating awareness and the mindset that our military families really still have those unique challenges, and our National Guard really needs to be considered when those family policy and procedures are made, that the National Guard is really part of that conversation.
So we spent a few years at a National Guard installation when we lived in Indiana, and I can just tell you the feel from being there versus being at an active duty base, it was very different. It was very kind of eye-opening for me because it was just like, what do you mean you don't have a CDC? And what do you mean you don't have this? And what do you mean you don't have that? And so for me, it's like, wow, this is what being a civilian again is like. And I'm not sure I'm ready for that. And so
it really is. It's that isolating feeling. And especially for me, we came from active duty Air Force. We transitioned to the Air Guard. And I came here, we didn't have any of those things, the CDC, the Family Support Center, any of those the commissary, any of those things. So I felt so isolating making that transition. And what I found was that I had to search for all of those resources and support systems that, that I was used to having. And our mission really didn't change. He was still TDY and deployed all the time. And we were left in a community that really didn't understand the unique challenges we were having, and trying to find a job and, that spouse preference. I had 13 years of, being an accounting at the lodging office for the Air Force. And like, I lost all of that. So trying to start all over in a civilian environment who, still had the mindset that the National Guard really isn't the military, and he's just on a business trip, and just those things that never really progressed on who and what the National Guard is, especially the past 20 years of deployments and the dual missions and everything like that. So it was definitely challenging, isolating, and eye-opening, because you don't know what you don't know. You have no idea. So I've really made it my mission to bring people into our life and see, now everybody is so amazing. My community in my town and my city in Syracuse, they just rally around me every time John will leave. They're like, what can we do? That people want to help, they want to know. And they're really excited that, we've opened up and shared part of our world with them, because the National Guard is amazing. We're not PCSing every 18 months like we used to on the Air Force side, right? So I've been able to raise my children from kindergarten. He graduated in 2021, and it's a family. So that transition, I think, when people get off of regular active duty and transition to the civilian sector, I feel like we've already kind of done that a little bit. So it's going to be a little easier for us when he retires in a year or so. But the National Guard is a great thing, because we don't have to PCS and deal with all of the things that, all those things. But the other side of the coin is the challenges that we have of trying to get that support and recognition that our military kids are military kids. They still have the same unique challenges that the rest of the military families have.
No, absolutely. And that discussion about community and about family, because one thing I think a lot of active duty service members and families don't recognize is that as a National Guard, as a unit, you guys might be scattered across the state in different regions and not necessarily co-located like active duty unit, right there in one location. Just the aspect of how do you loop everybody in together and build that community and be able to support each other without having all of those active duty resources that, somebody else may experience and be used to.
Yeah, so we have a geographic separation. They're definitely, you have people in Florida and New York City, California, New Jersey, all over the place. So, that one weekend a month that they do come here or that they do deploy, it's really on our family, our key volunteer or our, key spouse mentors here in the unit to make sure that we reach out to make sure that those family members are taken care of. And that's where, the National Guard community, which is really helpful. The Military Spouse of the Year we've been able to, other National Guard spouses, we've been able to connect and collaborate on, hey, I've got somebody there, can you help? So it's just this sharing of resources and knowing where to turn and having that support within other communities, and also within your civilian community. We face the same issues of childcare, not being able to find childcare or underemployment. So if we can share those resources that our community has, we're just building a better community. And then when they're gone, they know that they can do their mission, and we're taking, they can slowly think about that and not have to worry whether, who's going to plow the snow for them, because, we're going to get 36 inches of snow as soon as they go off somewhere. So just having that support system throughout not only our local community, but throughout the rest of the National Guard community is really good to know that we have that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we know you advocate for National Guard and shine a light for them. So can you walk us through a little bit on your journey of how you got started and being the big supporter that you are of your community?
So really for me, my voice really came in 2018 when we had, my husband was in a pretty tragic accident, going to work one morning to go brief some generals in Germany, and he was doing a VTC, and I got a call saying that he was in a pretty serious accident. He was hit head on by a truck. A guy was playing a video game on his telephone. So PSA here, don't be on your phone because it can change somebody's life in an instant. He had just taken over command. We didn't know if they were going to medically retire him. So I knew at that moment it was my time to have to go back to work full time. I was lucky enough where I, worked part-time. I worked a few part-time jobs doing veteran outreach for our community and worked at the local high school. But they were, I was very underemployed. I'm a paralegal. I have an accounting background, and I couldn't find a job when we PCS'd here. So I knew then that I was just relegated to having those part-time jobs and being underemployed because people saw my resume and saw that I moved all over the world and had these gaps and didn't really want to give me a chance. So in 2018, I had to step up and say, okay, I need to go back to work to financially contribute to our family, because if they're going to medically retire him, what does that mean? And 13 years later, after we PCS'd here, and we got here in 2008, I was still having the problem of not being able to find a job. I still could not, the USA jobs, they weren't coded military spouse. And, so it was just another set of issues. And I said, why is this still happening? This shouldn't be happening. And I was able to share my story and be vulnerable. And when I did that, I found my strengths. And when you find your strengths, you find your voice. So other people started sharing their stories and really encouraging me to keep going and sharing that story, and that our National Guard families are a reflection of the whole force. So I was able to, through my veteran outreach position, I was doing some work with the county, and she recognized the fact that, wait, a lot of stuff that's kind of like veterans and military, they run parallel, right? So she gave me a chance, she gave me a job, and that turned into being promoted and being appointed. I'm the first non-veteran to be a veteran service officer, being a director. Assistant director. That's never happened before in our county, and that just went to prove that we can step in and fill those gaps for employment that we really need right now. And we're showing that support can be transcended through everything. So my journey was I needed to get back out there, put myself out there. I was always behind the scenes, doing the work, but not telling my story, just getting the things done. And so when that happened, just finding that strength, finding my voice, and really stepping back and saying, it's not about me, it's about what we can do for the future of the force and future of the Guard, and just to really help families. So that's a little bit about how I got to where I am.
Yeah, I love hearing your story and just how, everything kind of just came together. And as you said, being the first non-veteran military person that's been put into the position that you're in now just goes to show what, a strength you are and your experience and your background and how important that is, and how, you thought what am I going to do? And, everything just happened for a reason, and you were put where you needed to be able to help support other families as well. So in all of this, how has the AFI MSOY community supported you in doing the work that it is that you're doing?
So I would have never been able to accomplish anything that I'm doing right now. Before, my voice was never heard. Like I was, trying to have these conversations and they weren't being heard. But now we're having these conversations about the National Guard joining forces, and Dr. Biden really focusing on the National Guard children and how they do matter and how they need to be supported as well. Those conversations are happening now. They weren't happening before. So for me to see that, General Hokanson and Kelly, what great supporters they are of our military family, and those without AFI and the Military Spouse of the Year program and the collaboration between all the other military spouses of the year. I mean, there's so many subject matter experts. I mean, through even just our 2022 cohort, I mean, all of us, we talk every night, we collaborate, we bounce stuff off each other. I mean, without each other, I just can't say enough about how amazing this program is, and the voice it gave me, the confidence it gave me to talk about. It's okay to talk about the issues that you're having. Everything is not okay all the time, and the only way we can initiate change is to talk about it, to share our stories, to have an impact, to focus on others so that we can to make that change and make things stronger. So without AFI, I feel like our things would not be accelerating as fast as they are.
Yeah, definitely. And the 2022 class is really a phenomenal class. There are many folks, many MSOYs in the 2022 class have done phenomenal things and continue to do phenomenal things. And our National Guard spouses, I will say, I've been very impressed with them just over the last several years of being in the program, and knowing them, getting to know you this year, and just, it's just phenomenal work that you all do. And so I'm excited that we have this opportunity to be able to share more about what it is that everybody is doing. And so with that, we know there are thousands of spouses out there doing things in their community, trying to make a difference, trying to make a change. What advice would you give to somebody that is out there, just trying to figure out what it is they need to do, but knowing they want to make a difference in some way?
Get involved. There's strength in numbers. If you're working on something, it's likely somebody else is too. For me, I had been working on the WOTC credit, the Work Opportunity Tax Credit Military Spouse Hiring Act, and I had no idea Heba was so involved in that, and she has helped me so much, and she's been so get involved and collaborate with somebody. Learn from what people have done before you, what works and what doesn't work. Collaborate, right? It's likely that somebody else is working on that same issue, and ask yourself, what are you good at? Find your strength, and that's where you're going to find your passion. I know that I've always wanted to help people, and I found that strength, and it's just accelerated, right? So find what you like to do, and it's just going to come natural to you. You're not really going to work at it. You're already doing it. My advice is look at what you're doing, even though you think you're not doing anything. Because I certainly was like, what is Cindi Meili from Syracuse, New York? But now I'm affecting policy change. We're working with Albany to add verbiage to mirror what Virginia did to have military families on that. So we're working on that. And focus on what you can do, not what you're told you can't do. I was told that I would never be a veteran service officer because I'm not a veteran. Now I'm duly accredited. So don't ever take what somebody says you can't do. Just prove what you can do. And collaborate, find out what's going on in your community. Get to understand. For me, policy, I never thought I would be working on policy. now I'm taking a political class on how to run for office. I'm in an 8-week deep dive class on learning that. So stay tuned. I might be running for office soon. But really just find what you like, and if you're experiencing something good, bad, ugly, likely somebody else is too. So share your story, get involved, and be you. Be authentic to who you are, and things will come.
Yes, absolutely. That is such great advice to wrap up today on. And I can't wait till we see the signs, Cindi for governor or Senate or House of Representatives, whatever it is. I cannot wait to see those signs, because you will be phenomenal in whichever office it is that you run for. You definitely.
When we did the officer candidate training thing at Marine Corps Quantico,
yes.
You are why I'm still alive today. You were my partner, and you kept me alive, so thank you.
Yeah, that was such a good time. For those watching that don't know, so during Town Hall 2022, we got to do a Field Leaders Reaction course at Marine Corps Base Quantico, which is basically like a series of obstacle courses. And you have a little team, usually 4 to 5 folks. I think we had 4.
I think we had 4, yeah.
4 on ours. And you figure out there's usually one person designated to be in charge. And you're supposed to switch out each obstacle, but that person's in charge for the obstacle, and they figure out how to get everybody, and if you have other equipment, across it. And so me and Cindi, along with 2 other spouses, got paired up together as our team on that. And it was a very good time. Definitely learned a lot about each other, learned a lot about ourselves. Yes.
You're amazing. That's all I can say is you're amazing. So
you definitely are too. Like I said, I can't wait to see those signs of you running for office, and I can be like, I know her.
Start with the school board first.
Everybody's got to start somewhere, and they always say start local in your community before you go big. So you say school board now, and I say in 10 years it'll be the Senate or Congress of some sort, and this is just your next stepping stone to the next great thing. And so I can't wait to follow your journey and see what happens, and to continue to see all the amazing things that you continue to accomplish and do for our community. It's going to be a wild ride, and we're all excited to watch it take off.
Well, I'm so excited for 2023. Everything is great. So I can't wait to see who is going to be the next National Guard Spouse of the Year.
Yes, absolutely. If you guys are sitting there and you've got a nomination sitting in your inbox, do not forget to go click on it, go create your profile, go accept your nomination. By the time this one is airing, it's going to be close to starting voting, and it's going to just be a fantastic year. And I can't wait to see what our new class brings in, because every year I feel like it just gets better and better, and we find people out there doing much more amazing things than what we could even imagine is happening out there. And so it's going to be a super great year.
It's going to be an amazing year. I'm super excited as well.
Yeah. So Cindi, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us.
Thank you. I'm so happy that this show is airing. This show is going on, and it's just highlighting all the amazing things that our community has to offer. And we've got an amazing community.
No, we definitely do. And everybody watching, thank you for joining us today and learning more about Cindi and what she does with the National Guard. And join us next time for another great show where we get to talk with more of our MSOYs and find out about the work that they are doing in their community, the difference that they are making, and how this program is able to help support the work that they are doing. So be sure to join us then. Until then, make sure to take care of each other.
Thank you.